Hello learners, welcome to our session today. I am your instructor, CPA Ringo Frederick. Today it is a continuation of what we've been doing earlier on. So today is a very exciting day because in our session we will be starting our revisions. And remember, looking at advanced auditing and assurance, the best advice that Mwalimu will give you guys is that anytime you're handling questions for advanced auditing and assurance, kindly always approach this question in this manner. Don't approach them like students, but instead approach these questions like auditors. Because you'll find that questions for advanced auditing, how they normally tend to set it, if you can also take that sample of question papers that you do have, you'll find that a lot of questions for advanced auditing basically will be given in terms of what? In terms of situations. I normally term them as situations. Like you're given from like a case. So it's upon you to solve this case. Maybe you can be told, you will be given a situation. Yes, it is a concept that is being tested in relation to an audit, but you'll be given a situation whereby maybe you can't be told that maybe you're having, say, let me use any name, say John, for example. You've won, or rather you have a chance to work as an auditor on a certain firm, say like XYZ. Then on this firm, probably your wife is a senior accountant or your wife is a finance director in this firm. So you're told that if this case, you're supposed to accept such a task. You'll find that these are situations that you're given, right? In this situation, of course, you can clearly see that there'll be that aspect of conflict of interest, whereby I want to audit a firm where my wife is a senior auditor, or rather is a senior accountant, or rather finance manager. So definitely, I'll be having conflict of interest. So how will this conflict of interest interfere with your opinion? So these are how questions are normally being tested in advanced auditing and assurance. And that's why Mwalimu will want us to look at it in this angle. Anytime you're handling any question for auditing and assurance, more so at this advanced stage, kindly just be an open-minded person. Then note that at this point, don't think like a student. You're not a student when handling these questions, but instead you are an auditor handling these questions. If you approach it in that manner, you'll find that things on our side will be very, very easy, and things on our side will also be very, very simple. One mistake that you can make is to cram. Because you can clearly see that in auditing, basically you normally tend to have roughly like almost 9 main topics, including the aspect to do with the emerging issues. So in the event that you want to you want to cram, you'll find that you'll be messing up big time. And that's why it's always very important that when handling, or rather looking at these questions, just be an open-minded person, and you'll find yourself to have, or rather be having a lot of points which you can come up with. So in our block revisions, we do have 25 questions. These 25 questions cut across all the topics that we do have in our syllabus. And in this case, probably Mwalimu might not do all the questions, but we'll be doing questions that will open our mind wide. And at this point, when we are handling these questions, I want us to just open our mind wide and approach them with a mind of an auditor, but not a mind of a student. And in that case, you'll find yourself to have a lot of points. So at this point, I've given you the block model paper. I think you can also download on the app. If you've downloaded it on the app, I want us to go through question by question, see what we will be requested to do and what you're supposed to handle. So that case, that should take us straight to aspect of course, we are going to do it in this procedure. There's some questions that Mwalimu will be combining. There are those questions that, again, we'll be doing them at least separate, so that as at the end of the day, the key task is that by the time we are done with this, we should be able to understand all of these concepts clearly in the way it's supposed to be. So guys, to this point, mark me very well that we do have aspect of 25 questions which you've mentioned, and you're going to handle one by one. So that was just an introduction of what you're supposed to do. First thing, we've agreed that anytime you're handling auditing, kindly, my good students, let us be open-minded. And let us approach all this as what? As auditors and not students. That is what Mwalimu is really requesting, that once you are approaching these questions, I know your exams is almost approaching, probably you didn't have time to study, you've just joined the classes recently, and in this case, or rather you had all these materials but you didn't study, or in that case you'll find that you're having kind of a pressure at now. So this pressure, I want you to use this pressure and maximize it to the best. And one mistake that you should not make, my good students, anytime you're handling auditing and assurance or any theory question, kindly, these are mistakes that you should not make. Don't do this while you are revising. Don't do this while you are revising. Don't do this while you are revising. I know majority of you probably you do have revision kits, right? You do have revision kits. Majority of you do have these revision kits. It is very good. They will assist you in your revision. But this is what we should not do. Like maybe I'm having a question, maybe I'm handling a certain question. Handling this question, of course, at the back of your mind, you know very well that you do have what? You do have your solution. You do have your solution. So now the mistake that you're going to do, maybe you're handling a question and you feel that this question probably I can't handle it clearly. What your mind will tell you is just, you're having a solution. You rush and check your solution. In that case, you'll be having that satisfaction that you've kind of answered that question. But in reality, my good students, you've not gotten the concept right. In reality, in that case, it's kind of you want to cram the answer, which is a very wrong method that you're using in revision. And I know majority of students are victim of this. For sure, I know majority of the students are victim on this. So the best way to revise more so these theory questions and any other paper, if you're having your revision kit, what you're going to do, assuming I want to handle, say, like if it is aspect of materiality, right? I've seen a question of materiality in my question that I'm handling. So I've tried to think about it, things zimekataa kabisa. Things kind of, you can't work it out. So instead of you rushing to these solutions, by the way, these solutions are also suggested solutions. It's not like that is what is supposed to be exactly they're supposed to be. Also, these solutions in your revision kits are also suggested solutions, meaning that they are not handed like it's not like it's not like whatever that they have given you there is the same thing that you must have. No, these are suggested solutions. So what you have to do, my good students, and mark it very well, this is what you need to do. You've seen a question. This question actually you try to handle it and it has kind of become very difficult. Instead of you rushing to the solution as much as you're having your revision kit, go to your notes, go to your class notes. Specific area that they've asked aspect to do the materiality. Try to analyze, try to go through that content of materiality and come back and answer that question. You'll find that you'll have gotten the solution. And in this case, you not have only gotten the solution, but in that case, you'll have kind of widened your scope. You'll have kind of widened your knowledge, which in that case, it will be a boost on your side. With this minimum time available, kindly utilize it to the maximum and utilize it very smart. So that's why Mwalimu is saying that don't go to question, solution, solution. That won't assist you much. Go to question, look at that concept, and in that case, maybe when things are kind of very hard, rush to what? Rush to your notes and not the question. Now, also another word of advice, as you are starting our revision again, this is what you must have in mind, my good students, that in auditing and assurance at this level, the main topics that you should make sure that you have them at your fingertips before you go to exams are these topics. Number one, make sure that you are conversant with topic number one. Which topic number one? Basically, we normally tend to talk about what? Assurance and non-assurance engagement. Assurance and non-assurance engagement. Assurance and non-assurance engagement. At any given point, my good student, make sure that you are good in that topic. Assurance and non-assurance engagement. Make sure that at any given point before you go to your exams, make sure that you are good, and you should be very good on that topic, assurance and non-assurance engagement. Another topic that you should be very good at before you go to your exams, just make sure that you are good on what? Aspect of audit framework and regulations. audit framework and regulations. Audit framework and regulations. Make sure that whatever that it will cost you, make sure that you are good in this topic before you go to your exams. Audit framework and regulations. And basically looking at audit framework and regulations, these are the concepts that we normally tend to look at whenever we're talking about the aspect to do with the auditor's professional liabilities and legal responsibilities, as well as the objective and general principles, which are very ideal and very important for at any given point in time. Then, of course, the other key topic, again, that you should be very good at before you go and sit for your exams in auditing, advanced that is, make sure that you are perfect in this topic, known as what? Aspect to do with professional and ethical considerations. Professional and ethical considerations. Professional and ethical consideration. Professional and ethical considerations. Professional and ethical considerations. Make sure that you are good on these topics, professional and ethical considerations. The other key topic here, basically, another topic that you should be very good at before you go to examination. This is aspect to do with what? Aspect to do with the management of audit practice. 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 Very vital, by the way. Very, very vital. Management of audit practice, basically, these are what we'll be looking at the aspect of the client's acceptance and retention procedures, talk about planning and performing audits, professional appointments, talk about methods and techniques of auditing high-risk areas. This topic is very crucial and is very, very vital before you sit for your exams. And also, finally, because in auditing, if you're good in 5 topics, my good students, now for the purpose of exams, you'll find that you'll have summarized the auditing, everything actually. Then the last topic here that I make sure that you are good at, this aspect to do with the aspect of audit evaluation and reviews. Audit, evaluation, and reviews. Audit, evaluation, and reviews. Once you're good in these areas, at any given point in time, when you're done with the exams, you'll call mwalimu and say, mwalimu, honestly, hapo ulitusaidia. Thank you, mwalimu, for what you gave us. So at this point, that's why I'm saying that just make sure, I'm not ruling out or I'm not saying that other topics are not important, but for you to hack audit very well, just make sure that you're good on these areas. For you to hack audit very well, just make sure that you're good on these topics. Only 5 topics. If you are able and if you're good on these 5 topics, take your questions now. Try to go through the questions. You'll find like 80% of the questions being tested normally evolve around these 5 topics. And that's why I'm really insisting that kindly make effort within the remaining period time available. Just make effort and try to make sure that at least you've gone through these topics. And as at the end of the day, all of us will be smiling. Okay? As at the end of the day, all of us will be smiling. So, after looking at what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to do during this revision, now I want us to start our block model paper questions officially. And I believe you've already downloaded this paper. This paper just on this subtopic, the one that you're seeing right now. You can see you have a PDF download. So kindly just download that paper and have it with you, so that when Mwalimu will be handling the question, it will be very easy also for you to go through the question and see what you are required to do. And in that case, by the time you are through this revision, I believe that you'll be very, very comfortable and you'll be having a lot of confidence to go and sit for your exams. So to this point, my good students, let us meet in the next session and introduce question number 1, question number 2 for block revisions. To this point, thank you so much, guys. And let us meet in the next session. Thank you.